The MAGA Republicans under Donald Trump are working towards passing the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill Act through budget reconciliation. The act, if passed, would have disastrous consequences for America's social safety net. Interestingly, when it comes to addressing climate change, the MAGA Republicans are advocating for rolling back green energy incentives. According to Reuters, the U.S. House recently passed a sweeping tax cut bill that now goes to the Senate. The sweeping tax cut bill includes provisions to extend the tax cuts passed in 2017 during President Trump's first term, as well as the cancellation of numerous green energy incentives passed by Democratic former President Biden. Furthermore, this bill tightens eligibility criteria for several assistance programs, including healthcare and food assistance programs for the underprivileged. The impact of this bill goes beyond just hindering green energy initiatives. The most serious damage comes from the severe cuts to Medicare, which is expected to have a devastating impact on the lives of thousands of people, including the disabled. This highlights a concerning disregard for human life and a prioritization of oligarchic interests by the Republican Party. Moving on to the topic of climate change, it remains a critical concern despite where one lives. Even regions like Florida, the impact of climate change extends beyond coastal states. If the Big Ugly Bill is passed, it may lead to increased electricity costs. Unchecked climate change can lead to more heat waves, which represent the leading cause of weather-related fatalities. The situation is further exacerbated by the GOP's budget, which has the potential to increase summer temperatures and drive up the cost of air conditioning, as highlighted in the article by the Washington Post titled "The GOP's Budget Would Make Summers Hotter and Your AC Pricier." The effects of climate change disproportionately affect low-income individuals. Millions struggle in their homes during the hot summer months, unable to afford the necessary electricity needed to run air conditioners. This prolonged exposure to heat can lead to severe health problems, including an increase in hospitalizations and fatalities. The suffering of those impacted, often going unnoticed and unrecognized in official records, remains a significant issue. Extreme heat has quietly emerged as the deadliest weather-related hazard in the United States, causing an estimated 1,300 fatalities per year, more than all other weather-related disasters combined. This crisis extends beyond the Sunbelt, with record-breaking heat waves reaching the Pacific Northwest, the Midwest, and New England. Unlike more visible natural disasters that generate immediate attention, extreme heat builds gradually, often going unnoticed and leading to silent deaths, even within homes. Amidst the silent crisis of extreme heat, there are no dramatic rescue missions or viral footage that attracts significant attention. The Federal Emergency Management Agency does not issue disaster declarations. The unfortunate consequence is that individuals are left to cope with preventable tragedies alone in overheated homes. The rising cost of electricity only compounds the problem, with projected prices expected to be the highest in over a decade. The impact of these high costs is clear, as a quarter of Americans and a significant portion of households with earnings below $50,000 report struggling to pay their energy bills. The combined sum of late payments owed to utility companies by Americans totals a staggering $24 billion. This financial pressure forces these families to make difficult choices, sacrificing essential needs like electricity to afford food and medication. Government programs that were established over 40 years ago, like the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, were primarily designed to assist families with heating their homes during winter months. These programs are ill-suited to address the current issue of sweltering summers and the increasing risk of heat-related fatalities. It's a stark contradiction. While climate change exacerbates the need for support for millions of vulnerable Americans struggling with the rising cost of electricity, President Trump's budget proposal suggests eliminating the very program and to provide crucial assistance. Elisha Ape. This move could leave families with impossible choices, such as sacrificing necessary food to afford essential electricity for cooling their homes. The notion that no family should have to make these decisions, particularly the elderly, young children, and individuals with disability, underscores the urgent need for meaningful change to avoid further suffering and economic hardship. It is unacceptable that any parent should face the difficult decision between purchasing essential electricity for cooling their homes and affording necessary medication. The impact of climate change extends beyond coastal regions and affects landlocked states as well. Climate change causes air to be drier and temperatures to increase, creating conditions conducive to wildfires. A source from EGU Pubs, specifically the article titled "Relating Climatic Attributes and Water Resources Allocation," a study using surface water supply and soil moisture indices in the Snake River Basin, Idaho, sheds light on this connection. Climate change caused by human activities has been progressing since the start of the Industrial Revolution. Over the 35-year period from 1971 to 2005, declining stream flow, increasing temperatures, and fluctuating precipitation in the Snake River Plain have significantly impacted water resource allocation within the basin. A study has examined the correlation between these changing climatic attributes and water resource allocation, revealing notable trends. Annual and monthly diversion trends were analyzed at 62 locations across the Snake River Plain, with trends indicating a decline in annual surface water diversions and increasing April diversions. The consequences on climate change are far-reaching, and its impact can be severe, even for states not along the coastline. Rising temperatures increase the likelihood of heat-related fatalities and wildfires, while the escalating cost of electricity further exacerbates the situation. Notably, flooding risks also grow in states bordering the Great Lakes, underscoring the urgent need for decisive action. Climate change has a significant impact on the food supply, as highlighted in a report by the Environmental Protection Agency (EPA). The article, titled "Climate Change Impacts on Agriculture and Food Supply: The Effects of Climate Change on Crop Growth," can be complex, with the potential for both positive and negative impacts depending on regional factors. A prolonged growing season can present advantages, allowing for the cultivation of longer cycle crops, while others may face increased irrigation demands due to higher temperatures. It is worth noting that air pollution caused by climate change may pose added challenges, as pollutants such as ground-level ozone can negatively impact crop health by affecting photosynthesis, growth rate, and susceptibility to diseases. Climate change not only impacts growth but also poses a significant threat through increased wildfire activity. Wildfires can cause extensive damage to farmlands, grasslands, and rangelands. Rising temperatures and altered precipitation patterns can also encourage the spread of certain pests and plant diseases. Additionally, shifts in temperature and precipitation can disrupt the delicate timing of pollination, potentially leading to a decline in crop yields. Furthermore, climate change negatively affects animals raised for meat, milk, and eggs. In summary, climate change is an issue that affects everyone. Rising temperatures lead to increased incidence of wildfires and droughts, especially in coastal states and those bordering the Great Lakes. The consequences of climate change also extend to food supply, as farms are crucial to providing food options, including the meat in a burger and wheat for bread buns. The solution to address these impacts lies in adopting renewable energies to replace reliance on fossil fuels. By implementing sustainable energy alternatives, we can collectively minimize the harmful effects of climate change and work towards a healthier planet. That concludes the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more informative content. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Peace.